Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk, NFTs, Crypto, and Web3. I'm your host, Asia the Bird. To have a very special guest with me today. She's an NFT 3D artist, musician, and painter. Please welcome Serwah. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome. So I want to go ahead and get started with this interview by asking where you're from and tell us about your art career.
Yeah. So I'm in Western Sydney. I'm from Western Sydney. Sydney, Australia, but like the western suburbs. I like it. I like it more out here than like the inner city of Sydney. But my dad's from Ghana, so West Africa, and my mum's Italian Dutch. They both migrated here like many years ago. But yeah, what was the other part of the question, sorry?
Tell us about your art career.
Oh, right. Well, it kind of, I feel like it happened by accident. My parents are actually both artists, not full time, but anymore. But they were artists. So growing up, there was a lot of art around the house, and always sort of involved in making different things, whether that be like clay sculptures in school holidays or like drawing after school. So yeah, I don't know. I went to TAFE, which is like a technical college. Like a much cheaper version of like rather than university or regular college, for like costume design and like theater set design and stuff like that, and didn't really vibe that so much. Not that I didn't like the medium, I just didn't like the industry here. Like it just didn't make sense to do that in Australia. So I just picked up 3D art. I thought, I don't know anybody who's doing this around me. I just know like people that paint and illustrate. So I was just like, let me just choose the most random thing. And it made the most sense. Yeah,
that's really cool. How'd you get into music?
So I was never really a musical child. Like my brother was always the musical prodigy of the family. Like he can play like so many instruments.
Right.
But I don't know, I got like mad into punk rock when I was like 9, 10, 11 years old, and I was just like, you know what, I just need to play guitar. Like once you get into that music, you just pretty much choose like drums, bass, or guitar, or you do vocals, and then you just run with it for the rest of your life. So yeah, I just picked up guitar, and I've been playing it for what, like 13, 14 years now. I played in a couple bands. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. Now, you describe your work as very like surreal, like dreamy landscapes, Afro-Futurism. So what has attracted you in terms of getting into like Afro-Futurism, having that surreal futuristic type of vibe within your work?
So like other than being an artist, like my dad would do like storytelling at like festivals or events. So he would just tell like old Ghanaian, like Ashanti, which is our tribe, like the stories that from, their history, or like their different spiritual beings and stuff like that. So he would tell those sorts of stories. So that always like inspired me that, he's now, telling these stories. How can I tell the same sort of stories in my own way? Like, he managed to find a way that he could do it in his own sort of style, like with drumming and dancing, and he would do a bit of comedy, and it was great. But like I was like, how do I do that in my own style? Because I think it's very important for Afrofuturism to exist. I think to me, Afrofuturism is taking Black and Afro cultures and putting that into like a positive, like emphasis on positive future focused sort of light or vision. So yeah, I've just like I'm nowhere near finished with this sort of concept, but like trying to take the culture, of my history, and putting that into the digital realm, because I think that's so important. Everything's moving digital. Like we have to insert the culture into the digital space in a positive way, so that it can live on forever and adapt and evolve.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, who would you consider to be like your favorite like artist that you looked up to, or like is there any like favorite films that you get very inspired by in terms of your work?
Well, everybody knows me as like the Matrix freak of Australia. I've got like in my bedroom, I have like 60 DVDs of the Matrix like stacked up. It's very weird. Yeah, so I've collected like all these Matrix DVD. Yeah, it's like freaky behavior. But yeah, The Matrix is definitely one of my favorite films. That I think when I first watched that, it just like opened up the whole like portal to like the cyberpunk, like, you know, futuristic realm. And I'm just so grateful for that. But yeah, like I love anything sort of sci-fi, like Elysium was a great film, and I think it's very, you know, the messages are very important. Like I can sort of see that sort of climate, you know, socio-economic struggle happening today here. Um, I love like Harmony Korine, like sort of weird, very bright movies. In terms of artwork, I'm very influenced by painters. So I
Mhm.
love this lady called Mandy Racine. I think she's in Portugal. I think she's based in Portugal, but she does like Rococo style expressive painting.
Mm.
Um, yeah, Emma Stern, she's like my idol. This great painter from, I think she's based in New York. She's amazing.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Like there's this artist named Paul Lewin. I think I really like his work. And he's
Oh, sick.
like from Miami. He does like these like African style like paintings. He does a lot of
Oh
blue and
my God.
orange within his work. His stuff is really, really cool. Another artist I also like as well is also like Salvador Dali, you know,
Yes.
Kirby Rosanes. He's a guy from the Philippines. He does like these cool black and white illustrations.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, so it's really crazy how like these people have created such a unique style, especially with Salvador Dali. When you look at his stuff, very sort of like melting
Mm.
clocks and you know
Oh
long
my
curved
God.
lines.
It's crazy. And like I love his tarot card collection. I'm really into tarot cards, and I
Mhm.
bought a friend his old, like his tarot card collection. Just every single piece is so interesting, the way he evolved the original designs into his crazy style. Like I don't know how he thinks of this stuff.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Like that's really, really cool. Also, like Pablo Picasso, you have like people in the
Yeah.
Renaissance like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci.
Mm.
Like the thing I like
Yeah.
about Leonardo da Vinci's work is so detailed and he captures the scene very, very well. But also, this man is the same man that could write backwards. It's mad
Yeah,
crazy.
he's like a freak of the universe. He's so good. Like the amount of maths and like geometry and planning he did into all of his works was just phenomenal. And I guess that's why he only, I don't know how many works he did, but I feel like it's under 15 actual paintings that he managed to complete, you know. So I think that's just, you know, a testament to how much detail and thought went into every single element of the painting. It's just, I love the Renaissance and, you know, old painters.
Mhm.
I actually look at that more, I feel like, than digital art in terms of
Mhm.
inspiration.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Now, do you still paint or you just do like solely just now like 3D art?
I've started painting a bit, like again, like that's a painting I've been working on.
Really cool.
I started last year and I still haven't even finished like the under painting. So that shows you how like how slow I'm going with it. But I'd really love to get back into painting, and hopefully finish like a body of works, you know, within the next 18 months of, you know, like this painting I actually modeled the base image in 3D,
Mhm.
and then I drew it out onto the canvas. So I'm trying to think of different ways I can sort of merge the digital and the physical, um, going forward.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Do you work with oil or like acrylic or what's like your medium for painting?
I love oil paints. Like, yeah, I started oil painting when I was like 11.
Mhm.
Like I used to just skip high school and just stay home and oil paint. It was so naughty. But yeah. That's kind of why I got into digital as well. Like we had a garage out in the back of our backyard, and that's where my dad would do his sculpture, and I would have a section and I'd do my oil painting there. And I
Mhm.
would get pretty messy with it, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But we sort of transformed that space into like a living space. So, and my
Mhm.
brother actually lives there now. So that like quite a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
So that's when, yeah, that's when I was like, well, now I can't oil paint. in the way that I used to. So I really have to really have to focus on this digital thing, because I don't want to have, another medium where I'm working on something and then somebody tells me I can't, like takes away my space. So yeah, digital is great because I can work on it, sort of wherever I want at any time of the day without bothering anybody. You can undo things. It's not like you're tied to finishing the painting now that you put the lines down on the page. Like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I'm like, into gouache. I'm into like acrylic paint. I've gotten into these Posca markers. I don't know if you heard of them. There's like these
I love those.
Yeah, the acrylic paint markers. Those are amazing. And I will always
sick.
I always draw like the like just doodle with them. Like I use like mainly black Posca markers. I gotta try the other colors. But they're really great.
They make like really nice like fluorescent colored paint markers, I think. I had some of those ages ago. They were like fun. They're fucking sick. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm from Western Sydney. That's what we're like.
Right. Yeah, right. That's the thing. Like they're really, really great, like paint mediums. And also too, like I'm a nail artist, so I do like nails, like working with like gel and paint with acrylic, things like that. Like especially like I love digital programs. I'm like Illustrator, a Fame Designer. Fame Designer is like a cheap alternative to Adobe Illustrator. So you pay $50 and you have the program. So
that's sick.
The thing is that like I'm like into vector. I'm a vector type of chick, but I'm also
I never got my head around that. I would kill to like figure out how to do those vector things. Like I can't. I think I missed that lesson in TAFE, and then I just like never got the hang of that.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like the only thing I don't like about like what's difficult for me for the vector programs is just the pen tool. The pen tool is a hard tool to use.
Yes, like the curves, and I don't know. Maybe it's worth trying one of those like Wacom tablets or something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it really matters. A tablet is just like, just kind of like the function of the pen tool. You got to understand how to work with it. That's all that is,
Yeah, the curves and stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now, in terms of like your 3D like artwork, like what programs do you use like Cinema 4D? Like what do you use?
Yeah, so I use mostly Cinema 4D now, and I didn't actually used to do that. I only started using Cinema 4D I think June of 2020 is when I actually decided to buy the program and figure out how to use it, which was that's when I got my first like proper legit animation job. I was like, I better really, invest in my tools now, because I can't do this with what I was doing before. But for the people, I use Daz 3D Studio, which is like a free program that it's just mostly for just using creating people and like animating people. It's pretty good for animating people if you are doing like simple stuff. And I sort of like sculpt my heads and my people in ZBrush, which is like a sculpting thing. It's pretty difficult to use, to be honest with you. I hate the layout. Like the layouts of these 3D programs, if they just made them easier to understand what's going on the sides, like everybody would be able to use this stuff. But and what else do I use? Like I use all Adobe, like Premiere, After Effects, Photoshop, all that sort of stuff. Substance Painter, which is like for creating textures for your 3D models. Use that quite a bit. I'm just looking at my computer. I use this thing called Face Gen. Yeah, I use this thing called Face Gen, which is you can feed in like a headshot of a person, and you can get like a very basic 3D like head and texture of the person. So when I'm creating like, say if I was going to create you, I would just ask for a couple of photos and feed it through that. And that's sort of how I create certain people.
Oh, that's really, really cool. The thing about your work, like how you've described it, like I love the scenery. I love it has like this film. It's like a film scene like going on, with the whole like futuristic vibe, like the bright, vivid pastel colors. And I love how like it's Black representation, like it's consistent with the Black representation. That's all I like about your work.
Yeah, it's always been important for me to like showcase that, different people, Black people especially, especially Black women, because I, never really saw that growing up in, art galleries at all. I didn't see us on the walls, so it's important for me to really, inject us into this space.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, how'd you get started with NFTs and Web3?
Another accident, to be honest with you. A lot of the things in my life are just accidents, but this curator named Lindsay Howard, she's fabulous. She hit me up in 2020. She was like, "Hey, have you heard of NFTs? I'm putting together this like digital show for this site called Foundation, and I'd love for you to make an NFT for this digital show." And I was like, I don't know what the hell an NFT is. I'm like, a digital show sounds good. Like she sort of basically explained like what an NFT is. Like you use crypto to create a token, that's minted inside your artwork, and you can sell it and trade it. And I was like, wow, that sounds great. Like that sounds super cool. I didn't need to know the ins and outs of it, just like off that one little sentence or whatever. I was like, that seems really, awesome. So yeah, I created my first NFT, which was called Void Walker. And that sold, I think, for like $1,500 or something US dollars. Like it ended up coming through as dollars. But I was just so stoked. I was like, I've never sold a piece that's just my own, not like a commissioned piece or something for that much money, or even, I've never really sold just like a one-of-one piece to somebody like that. So I was like, this is like so awesome. Like, I can't wait to do this again. Yeah, I was like, this is great. Like, how come nobody else knows about NFTs? And then like fast forward like 6 months, like everybody in the world knew what they were. So I guess that was kind of my start. For a couple of years though, I was seeing the word crypto art like tagged under people's artworks. Like since like 2017, I saw crypto art and I was like, I don't know what that is. I think it's maybe like a style of artwork, but I'm not going to Google it. And I really wish I Googled it back in 2017, because I'd probably be a millionaire by now, but like,
right.
Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm still learning about NFTs. I kind of knew about them like around like 2020. Like there's a nail artist named Gracie J. She goes by the editorial now. She was telling me about, hey, have you heard of NFTs? And I was like, no, I haven't heard of NFTs. And she was explaining them to me, but I haven't jumped on to the train yet. I'm still learning about all this NFT stuff. And the thing is, this platform is pretty new. Like I would think like, okay, am I too late into jumping into NFTs? You know what I mean? Like
I think it's never too late. Like I've seen people that have jumped in it like way, way, way after me, and they're like, killing it, like I think any time's the right time. And it's, I think it's a space where it's like no pressure. You can like learn it at your own pace and, like absorb it as it comes, because I don't think it's ever going to go away.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Now I want to talk about like collaborating with brands. So what has been your experiences collaborating and working with different brands, especially with your work?
Well, I guess it's different from brand to brand and from project to project. Like there's brands I've worked with multiple times, and like each project's different, like a different experience. And then, it's not, I can't really like blanket statement being like, it's amazing or it's terrible. Like, at the end of the day, I'm grateful to have been able to work with all these great brands. And I always just try and like put my mind to it. Like, this person's given you some sort of a structure in which to create your artwork. Like they obviously like my artwork, otherwise they wouldn't come to me with this idea. But, there's some guidelines. Let's try and adapt your style to those guidelines. Like let's just try and it's like a challenge to me. Like I like that sort of challenge sometimes. Sometimes it's too challenging, but I try to like just be like, this is a challenge, like let's try and learn something. Sometimes I have to learn completely new skills or new techniques because this person has paid me, and now I have this like, you know, now I'm like forced to learn something. So yeah, that's a kind of like, I just try to think of those positives. Like I'm being paid to learn, I'm getting a good challenge out of this, which oftentimes, you know, it can lead to new sort of inspirations or new ideas for other artworks, because I wouldn't have never thought of that myself. So yeah.
Yeah, right. Now, Serwah, I want to also talk about this other collaboration you did with the Smircs. The Smircs,
Yeah.
I love their collection. It is so
How
like
cute are they?
really cool. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it sounds like the cuteness with the streetwear. So what was that whole experience collabing with the Smircs?
I love the Smircs. I love Combrezi and Flatsy. They run the Smircs. So I've known Combrezi since like for years. I think since when I first started my Instagram, which must have been like 2017 or something. Like I followed him. Like his artwork is like, look at his artwork also like outside of, you know, the Smircs and like Flatsy's too. Like they're both crazy. They're both brothers and they're like crazy talented.
Wow.
So yeah, like I've known them for a long time, and I've just always been like, fuck, his work is crazy. And then he like started up the Smircs thing, and he just hit me up. He's like, we would love it if you did a collaboration with us. And I was like, I've always wanted to collaborate with you. You know, I'm down. And like, we were just like Zooming, like doing all these Zoom calls like every week for like a little bit. And we just have the best time, like just coming up with these ideas of, you know, how to like do the collaboration Smirk. And like, they're just so fun. And like, seriously, some of the most nicest, fun people in digital art that I've ever met, and NFTs, like, honestly. And just like the you know, they're so passionate about their project and about, you know, their community, their Smirks community. I just really respect that. Yeah, and it's just the artwork's so great. Like I think it's one of the best like NFT collections I've ever seen.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love like how like the yellow smiley faces are consistent. I mean, it's different facial expression, but I love how they just, like how I said, combine like streetwear, and they're each one is its own individual. That's really cool about that.
Yeah, and they like hand make them, and just like you zoom in and you look at all the details, and I'm like, this is, yeah, like you can see all the different influences of streetwear, the graphic design, like even their old like typography style. Like I can see that sort of coming through with the smiley faces.
Right.
It looks like they're sort of fonts and typeface, and just, yeah, just they really helped me sort of like turn my ideas for my Smirk into such a you know, fantastic image. And there was like, they did like 5 or 6 different versions that are just like, they're all so crazy.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. It'd be cool for the Smirks to have like their own like dolls or like their own like clothing line, like, you know, those characters on t-shirts. Oh,
yeah, like yesterday I was thinking about this, like even they did like this gold chain, like this silver chain like pendant, like custom like heavy silver or gold like pendant of the Smirk, and it just looks so like, I could see that on Pharrell or like Kid Cudi, like
right,
just, like rocking out with this Smirk necklace, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Tyler the Creator.
Yeah, like a Bape collab they need or something.
Yeah, that'd be really, really cool. Now, within NFTs, like what are some things you could give for people who want to get into NFTs, especially starting their own NFT collection?
Like some advice or
some advice, like pointers, like before getting into NFT.
Definitely do your research and just be you know, be aware that there are risks and there are rewards. So you know, I think some people get a bit not delusional, but like, you know, you have to be very aware that there are a lot of risks, but there are a lot of rewards in this space. No matter how you come at it, like as an artist, as a collector, as, you know, somebody who just wants to, you know, give it a go, like just be safe. Like, especially, I always say to people, get yourself a cold wallet, like a Ledger or a Trezor or something, before you even think about starting to get involved in this space, because so many times I tell people to like get onto NFTs, and then they like they get hacked or something, you know. So definitely security first, and then have fun. Like I think people take it too seriously sometimes. Like I get there's a lot of money involved for some people, but you know, people can definitely vibe when you're in it for, you know, just gains or something like that. Like just have fun, like appreciate the artwork or appreciate the games. Like there's a lot of people that are, you know, using NFTs within games. You know, just have fun and make sure that you put community first. Like talk to people, especially on Twitter. Twitter's like pretty much where it's at now. It used to be Clubhouse. I don't know if it's really like popping off there anymore, but yeah, Twitter. Yeah, and just enjoy the art, I guess.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, what are some things that, you know, what are some tips you can give in terms of like how to keep like their NFTs secure? Like how does one keep their NFTs or NFT collection secure?
Yeah, definitely use one of those cold wallets. So I wasn't using one for the longest time. I don't know if I should say that, but like when I just didn't know when I first started. Like I was like, I don't really understand this crypto stuff enough to be safe with it. But like I learned over time, like watching a lot of my friends get hacked or watching people, you know, lose things like by accident. Just like definitely secure yourself. Like at the end of the day with crypto and like NFTs, you are your own bank. You know, you are your own security. Like if you don't want to be secure, like just don't, you know, you can't blame it on anybody else. Like you have to take care of it with a hardware wallet, or like, you know, keeping your seed phrases safe, like not going on to clicking on dodgy things. But what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, definitely like hardware wallets. Don't click on dodgy things. Like, you know, you can sort of suss out when some sort of projects like dodgy, like, you know, not
Right.
many people are engaging with this. It looks like bots, like, you know, you can sort of tell. And yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. If people can scam you, they can. And the thing is, we live
Yes,
in critical times now where people are trying to scam people, people are trying to bamboozle people, you know, out of their money, their work and stuff like that. So yeah, it's, you know, something to be careful of.
I mean, I even like got this another computer, like just a cheap laptop, just so I could do crypto stuff. So it's not connected to my work emails or anything. So you know, there's no risk of me clicking any links that, you know, will infect my stuff, or, you know, any files or anything like that. Cause like I'd be pirating things over there. Like, you know, who knows? Like I'd be dead broke, like, you know, if I was doing that. But, you know, there's different ways where you can sort of secure yourself within your budget, within your means, within your like time parameters, and like, you know, how much, you know, effort you want to put into this stuff. But, you know, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, so long as you find a way to keep your seed phrase safe, you should be okay. Like,
yeah, right, exactly. Now, would you happen to know the difference between a cold wallet and also a hardware wallet?
Yeah, so so the hardware you mean hot wallet or
Like you said hardware wallet, and I know you mentioned the cold wallet.
oh yeah, they're the same thing. Sorry, I just like said so cold wallet and hardware wallet is the same thing. So it's
Okay.
it's like it looks like a USB, like, or it should look like a little USB. And it's basically just taking your wallet off the internet and all your seed phrases and all your, you know, your passwords basically, and putting them onto an actual device. So if when your wallet's hot, or like a browser wallet, that means that your seed phrase is stored somewhere in the computer. So that means, like, say if I click on some dodgy link and I get a virus, like that virus might be able to find that seed phrase somewhere within my computer, then get inside my stuff, take all my, you know, money and my NFTs. Then I'm, you know, I've got nothing, and I've got no control over my wallet now because that person's got access.
Right.
So when you take the seed phrase off the internet, you you don't run the risk of somebody being able to hack your stuff. Like unless somebody was to break in, and then, force you to give them your code, like you have to put a code in there to open it up.
Right.
Then I'm gonna get your stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't think it's very likely that, a robber will come and be like, give me your cold wallet, give me the code.
Right, exactly.
Like, I always think that's gonna be like the next like blockbuster movie, like plot line, like some sort of Nicolas Cage, like or like Tom Cruise, like spy heist, like trying to get the cold wallet.
Mission Impossible stuff.
yeah, literally like climbing down that rope down the wall or something.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Oh my god, the movie's titled JPEG Heist or something. Like, oh my, yeah,
JPEG.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Now, how do you think that decentralization plays a part within like NFTs and Web3?
Well, I think the crypto is just like, the blockchain in general, which is what this is all built on. Like NFTs are minted on the blockchain, crypto lives on the blockchain, like, and Web3 is powered by the blockchain. So the blockchain is so independent of government, of regulation, of law, pretty much. Like it's I think it's the most decentralized thing that probably exists right now. Like and I think that's what like drew me so much to it, is like coming from a punk rock background, like especially like the bands I was in an anti-colonial death metal band. So really uplifting the Indigenous community of Australia, because the government here is very corrupt in terms of how they treat those people. So, the blockchain and decentralization, like this Web3 stuff, I'm really excited to see how it challenges these corrupt governments, and these corrupt like corporations, especially, the banks here, like they're all into coal mining and just, messing up the climate. It's very like thrilling to me to see this new technology that we control. As I said before, you are your own bank, you are your own like security. We are our own, social media now. Like, we are our own like tokens, like our own currency. Like we are starting to take control, which is so exciting to me.
Yeah, exactly. Now, have you used any of your NFTs as like utilities? Like, what's your take on utilities?
Yeah, I love utility. I think it's I'm really excited to see how people start to, utilize that more. But I've done that twice, and one of them sold. Like I did this collaboration with this Sydney designer, like fashion designer, Jody Just, and we did like a print of design that we did, and featuring like one of his cowboy hats. So I don't know if you've seen like Post Malone, he wears those crazy cowboy hats, and they're all like designed and stuff. Anyway, like he does like all these insane like cowboy hats with like almost like tattoo style paintings on them. And so I included one of those hats on the character inside the work. And when we sold that NFT, we said you get the hat that's inside the picture. So actually, like a friend of mine in Sydney actually bought the NFT, and he got the hat. So he's got that hat in his house now, and it's just so sick. It's almost like kind of trippy that you can get this artwork and a thing inside the artwork with this NFT, which is great.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, how could you talk about in terms like how does one price their NFTs? Like how does someone go about pricing NFTs and especially with their NFT collections?
I think price, like I always sort of stuck to pricing my NFTs, I think around 0.1 or 0.5 when I first started. Like I wouldn't push it above 1 ETH when you first start, I think, because you want to kind of encourage like a bidding war, I reckon. that's always really fun to like encourage, a bit of competition and a bit of speculation, but always I think price like also like the value that you think it brings. Like at the end of the day, the artist or the creator should determine that value rather than the market. I think like I put my prices at a certain rate, even though sometimes I know it's not going to sell. I just like I don't feel comfortable letting this piece go without getting that price. Like I don't care if it's not going to sell for years. Like I just don't want to put it out there unless it sells for that price. So I think that's kind of a good mindset to have. Like don't feel pressured to sell something for X, Y, and Z.
Right.
But yeah, definitely like larger collections, I wouldn't price them too high because there are quite a few of them.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I think pricing is important because you want to understand your worth and your value, especially when you put the time into your work.
Exactly.
I talk about this a lot, other nail artists, like, like myself, in terms of price and press on nails, like, charge like, we're charging $100 to $300, $400 for a set, like, because we're putting a lot of time into the work.
Yeah, I can imagine it must take like hours or even days. Some of those, like I've seen some intricate, like I can't even wrap my head around it. Like, yeah, it's definitely price yourself for the time, value, and the skill that you have. You have to take those three things and maybe even more things like materials that you use to create the piece that you've created. You have to take that into account. All the gas fees, because like with NFTs you usually have to pay like some sort of transaction fees. They're a lot lower now, but like I remember there was times I was paying like up to 600, what equated to like $600 Australian, which I think is like that's like what 400 500 US or something. Like
wow.
Yeah, for one transaction, and you sometimes have to do that 2 or 3 times on Ethereum, like to mint an NFT. So like, you have to take all of this stuff into account. And I think people see like people, pricing their NFTs somewhat high, and they're like, why would they do that? But like, it's all of the time, value, materials, gas fees, transaction fees. The platforms sometimes take like up to 10% of your sale, like
really?
a commission fee. Yeah, which I mean, it makes sense. Like they're running that website, they're
right.
operating all those different servers or whatever. But it all adds up, and you all got to take that into account when you're pricing your work. It's a lot of work to put up these NFTs. Sometimes you got to think about a lot.
Yeah, I didn't think that you would get like you have to pay like a high gas fee, but like, what is a gas fee?
So, from what I understand, so like there's all these like Ethereum miners. So like, say I was an Ethereum miner here, I have a mining rig. I don't know. It's like to push it pays the miners, I think, to mine the Ethereum. Like the Ethereum has to come from some sort of computer or somebody operating that computer. So I think it pays the miners. Don't quote me on that. Like, I don't know, but yeah, it's like a transaction fee. Like, how PayPal, like you have to pay transaction fees, or when you send money overseas, like there's an international fee. Like it's just like a fee to sort of run the blockchain. And sometimes if the blockchain's too packed, if there's too many transactions getting pushed through, like a really busy day, it's going to be higher. But if it's not, then it's way lower. But from what I understand, Ethereum is sort of merging to this new system of working. I don't know if it's merged yet or if it's going to be soon. They keep saying that it has and then it hasn't. I don't know, but it's apparently going to be like cheaper, way more environmentally friendly, and like way easier to run. So, that's great because yeah, I think it was putting people off from minting NFTs and also from buying NFTs. Like there was a lot of NFTs I wanted to buy, but like gas was like more than the NFT. So I didn't want to pay a transaction fee that was more than what I was paying for, you know? So
Wow.
yeah, but there's other different blockchains like Tezos, which is very cheap to run, and it's really environmentally friendly and it's super. I've seen some of the best artworks I've ever seen in my life on that blockchain. Solana is pretty popular. I know that. Polygon, I think. Yeah,
Right.
so there's different options for different people, no matter what your environmental views are, or your financial position, or how many pieces you want to mint or whatever. Like there's somewhere that you can mint and create an NFT that's within you know your values and your means.
Yeah, right. Now, what are some platforms that you've used, or what platforms would you consider to be safe in terms of selling NFTs, whether it's like Rarible, OpenSea, Magic Eden, like which platforms do you consider that you use that would be like safe?
I still use Foundation like quite a bit. I think pretty much most of my artwork's been on Foundation. I think it's one of the best platforms, to be honest with you, still. Like I love the design of it. It's just very easy to use. It's got a good like follow system. So like once I follow a person, I can be emailed when they're dropping something, or when I'm dropping something, people get emailed. And yeah, they've actually opened it now. So before it used to be invite only. So say you want to be on the platform, you'd have to ask another creator for an invite or get sent one or something. But now anybody can join up. So it's like OpenSea, like anybody can mint something and create a collection. Like you can do custom smart contracts now. OpenSea is really good still. Like if you're doing a very large collection, I would do on OpenSea. I haven't really used Rarible too much, but I've heard good things. I'm on Super Rare. I love Super Rare. It's kind of exclusive, which is a bit sad, but Known Origin is also really good. I think that's open to everybody. There's plenty of options. I would just like definitely before you start like minting on a platform, give their Twitter a sus. Who's like minting on there? Are they like reputable artists, or is it like a little bit scammy, shady? Like, because I have seen there's been some like sites that it's like I don't really know if this is going to last or what this is about. But definitely try minting on one of those bigger popular platforms like OpenSea or Foundation first, and then maybe branch out and see what else is out there.
Yeah, exactly. But I also want to get into marketing too. So what are some marketing strategies that you've used in terms of promoting your NFTs?
To be honest with you, I'm very bad at marketing and I should be better. But I don't know. I like try to create NFTs for exhibitions or for certain client projects, or like aligning them with something else that can get me more eyes on the project. So like like being involved with digital art shows or collectives, or even charity drops, like doing drops for charity, so giving the money away, so that it more people are looking at the piece, more people are sort of following along, rather than me just dropping out of the blue. I post onto all platforms, Instagram, Twitter. I should get a TikTok actually, because I heard TikTok's pretty cool for NFTs now. And yeah, collaborating is always good because you get your eyes, like your fans' eyes on the project, and also the other artist or creator or whoever. And so there's more of a there's more people just looking at it, interacting with it, that potentially don't know you and your works. So even like collaborating with musicians, like if you've created a visual, like getting somebody else to do some music and then splitting the profit. So like just trying to think of different ways to like involve somebody else so that you're getting a bigger platform, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. I think collaborations, are cool too, because like how you said, it helps put your work out there, but also the other person's work out there. But also too, would you recommend like going to NFT events like NFT NYC, NFT Miami?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I personally haven't been to any of those really yet. Just because I've been out in Australia and we've been, we were in pretty heavy lockdowns till like this year. But yeah, like from what I've seen, like the people that have been going to those events have been doing like super well. And also it just looks like really fun. Like I got heaps of FOMO when it just like passed like NFT NYC. I was like, damn it, I wish I went, but like, too bad. Going to these meetups is also really good. Like promoting yourself there, obviously not being too pushy, but just like being like, can we connect? Like just meeting up with people. That's also the fun thing about NFTs. It's like more fun than the art world. It's not like just I heard this quote in like a John Michel Basquiat documentary. I think like white people looking at white walls, drinking white wine, like a gallery. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like a stark like gallery experience. It's like, a festival, and it's fun, and it's like they're doing, different things, and there's performances. Like it's more involved and more interesting than the regular art scene. So just going out and experience this crypto, NFT world is definitely beneficial for sure, like in terms of marketing and just like, being involved in the space. Super fun.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, what's your whole take on NFTs and Web3 and where it's going?
To be honest, I've been saying this for a while, but I reckon music NFTs are going to pop off. I think that, especially coming from a music background, I wasn't, selling like millions of records or anything, but, we would do like pretty okay streams for like a local band, but like, 10,000 to 100,000 streams, you're not even making like $2 off Spotify and radio play and, all the rest of it. Like, that's like disrespectful. Almost when that check would come in like for $2 and like 5 cents, I would be like, take it back. Like, I don't even want to see this. This is just rude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like, my God, that's not even like a thousandth of what my guitar cost me that I wrote that stuff on. Like, that's just rude. So I think that musicians, and I've seen the proof in the pudding, musicians like using NFT technology and blockchain technology to put their music out there and start to make some profit off their music, because I don't even think that that's a bad thing to make a profit off your music. You should be. And I think society sort of tells musicians like, it's kind of wrong to be doing that, or like they give them, it's kind of like a weird thing like that. But Latasha, Latasha, who's a really fabulous rapper, African-American lady, she's killing it. She's selling music videos for like 10 Ethereum, which is crazy. Like, I think at the time she sold that was like, like 40 grand in like US dollars. Like, that's not, you would not make that sort of money off streams probably in your lifetime if you were just streaming, like getting royalty checks. Like, I love to see that, because I know that the struggle for musicians is very real. And, the saturation in the market right now, it's very hard to get like a label to pay attention. So I love to see them like doing things independently, being able to fund their life. There's no shame in, doing music as a job and, wanting to make a career and a living off it, but also to, be able to fund your career and your music, buying new equipment, whatever it might be. Like, I just love to see that. So yeah, I think music NFTs should become more prevalent in the space, and I'd love to see more musicians take advantage of this technology in some way.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But also too, like, especially within the beauty industry, like where I'm at, I'm a nail artist. So, that's something I don't see a lot in terms of NFTs, like nail artists promoting them nail artist NFTs.
Yes.
I would love to see artists collaborate with nail artists, in terms of NFTs.
Yeah. Anybody, like nail artists, like film directors, like clothing designers, like
Yeah, makeup
clothing,
artists.
like fashion design NFTs are a big thing now. Like, you know, when you can do the superimposed like clothing on people on DressX, like that's a big
Right.
thing. Maybe you could do something like having the nails, like digital versions of nails, and like they're superimposed onto photos.
Mm.
Like like I want to see Web3 get weird, like, you
Mm.
know, doing different science NFTs. Like I just want to see it like really branch out and sort of touch on every single you know, sector of art and culture
Mhm.
or whatever. Like anybody can get involved, and I'd love to see like, yeah, everybody get involved in this.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like I said, especially within the beauty industry, because I don't see a lot of nail
Mm,
artists or makeup artists or hairstylists getting
mm,
involved in it. You know what I mean? Like how I said with Gracie J from the editorial nail, she told me about NFTs. But yeah, there's like a couple of nail artists that are in the NFTs, but it's not as big. So that's why with my
yeah.
platform of Nails and Beauty Talk, like I want people to have information about NFTs, crypto, and Web3, so people know, like, hey, I can make my nail artist NFTs or make one nail as an NFT or something
Mm,
like that, you know, collab with an artist.
yes. Yeah, I've only seen one nail artist on doing NFTs, and she's doing pretty good. Um, but yeah, I'd love to see more people get involved in this space.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. Now, why do
Mm.
you think, like, what are some of the reasons of why do you think of, in terms of why should women get involved in NFTs and Web3?
I think the independence of it, like the independence of Web3, you know, the decentralization, being, you know, in charge of your own stuff, your own artwork, you know, your own digital presence is, I think, very important, especially as women. You know, we, especially with what happened this week in the US in terms of the pro-choice stuff, like I think,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we as women, we need to have more autonomy over our, you know, everything that we're doing. So being involved in this, you know, Web3 space, it's all about your own sovereignty and autonomy, and your own independence. And I think that's very important to, you know, instill that sort of mindset into future generations. Like we got to
Mm-hmm.
be independent and take care of ourselves. Like we can't rely on these, you know, institutions to um you know, take care of it for us. We have to be in charge. Like I don't care if those institutions are the government, the banks, the art world, like the, you know, the art institutions or whoever that might be, like the music industry, you know, professionals. Like we got to take care of it.
Yeah, yeah. Especially like how I said before, we're in a critical time, especially us as Black
Yes.
women or as Black people. It's important to build our
Mm.
own.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to start to, you know, build for future generations. Like this internet stuff is not going away. This digital,
Mm,
um,
right.
you know, it's not going away. We have to start to learn this technology so that we can, you know, master it, and you know, the children to come, they need to be equipped with this technology, because if
Mhm.
not, like we might fail, you know, and we don't want that. We want to move forward in a positive way. That's, you know, Afrofuturism.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Most definitely. Now, how would you define success in your perspective?
It's success is personal for sure. Like I think that, you know, success from other people's eyes is always going to be tainted. Nobody's ever going to know your story, so you have to be confident in your own success. Like um for me, you know, success is sometimes just being able to get that recipe right, or like, you know, just being able to get the lighting right on an artwork, or
Right.
you know, being able to be paid on time, like something like that. Like success is small. I like small success. I don't like to think of like a big success, because when
Right.
you put too much weight on that big success, like, oh, when I'm, you know, buy my house, I'm going to be successful. When I this artist commissions me, then I'm going to be successful. I have to make this much money and I'm going to be successful. The day either A may never come and you'll be disappointed, or when you get there, you might be disappointed because you'll be thinking about the next thing that you don't
Mhm.
have. So you got to think about success as like small little, um, you know, goals, and
Mm.
don't listen to anybody else's opinions on how you yourself have to be successful because you have to define that for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we live in an era of social media, and, you know, a lot of times, you know, or sometimes that, you know, we look at other people like, oh, wow, like look at their work, you know, compared to my work. Like, it's like, don't compare yourself to other people. That's what they do.
No, exactly. And you never know, like that person might have like ripped that whole artwork off, or like, you know, you don't know what they're doing, or like they may have gone through extreme like trauma to be able to make that work, or like you can't compare yourself to whoever, you know, made this or that. You have to compare yourself to the person that you were yesterday. Like you just have to keep pushing through, you know, as yourself.
Yeah. Self-care and mental health is very important. You want to have that balance.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media, and how can people support your work?
Okay. So my Instagram is Rath, so WRATH, and then it's like 5 underscores. I'm really bad at spelling out loud, but I think that was it. But yeah, it's so bad. But then my Twitter is just my full name, so Serwah underscore Attafuah, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that's my Twitter. I've got a website too, so serwah.xyz, and pretty much all my past work is up there. I do, you know, sell prints. I'm going to be putting some new prints up there pretty soon, but I'm actually switching to a new store over the next coming months with like some pretty fun, like functional sort of artworks. Like I'm trying to work on a chess set and some other cool, like interesting things. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm on, you know, Foundation and Super Rare mostly. Just my name, Serwah, Serwah.
All right. Well, thank you, Serwah, for jumping onto the show. I would love to collaborate.
No problem.
Collaborate with you down the line. Your work is really, really cool. I love the futurism. I love how you always represent, you know, Black women, Black people. Your work is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are most welcome. Take care.
No problem. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also follow me on my social media platforms and visit my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews involving Web3, NFTs, crypto, and the Metaverse.